Hi, hello, welcome back to another episode. Today, I wanted to do a full-on review of the Moonshine Skateboards Kill Your Idols skateboard deck. This is just going to be a review on the deck itself, not the trucks or the wheels that I'm skating, just the board. I've been skating this board for about a month now, so I feel like I can give my initial thoughts and impressions on it. So I'm just going to talk about my experiences with this board, what I think it works really well for, what I think it's maybe not so great for, and take it with a grain of salt. These are all my personal experiences with this board. Your experience might be completely different from mine. So what we have here is a single kick board. Pretty steep kick. I mean, for a freestyle board, most freestyle boards kicks are pretty mellow. This one's steeper, I feel, for a freestyle board, which is kind of nice because if you are gonna have one kick, at least it's pretty steep. The nose is completely flat, so there is no concave on the nose at all. In fact, this whole board has no concave. It's extremely flat, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing. For me personally, I feel like I'm just maybe used to having some concave. I've been skateboarding since I was about 12 years old. For context, I am 33 now, so it's been a while. And I'm just used to feeling concave underneath of my feet. Getting used to this was a bit of a process. I like having concave personally, because that way I can feel kind of where my feet are without having to look down at the board. But I will say that having this extremely flat deck does make some things like footwork a bit easier. You can slide your feet around it a lot faster, and you don't have to worry about bumping into the concave when you don't want to. Now, this board is 7.25 and it's 27.5 inches long. So this is a very small, compact little board. And that can be both good and bad. Personally, I think it's great for things like stationary tricks and rolling tricks, and any trick that you need to like flip this board around, it's great for. You know, this board's not very wide, it's not very heavy, so if you need to do something like a tail stop underflip or just like an M80, it'll flip around quickly and without any problems. Even with things like finger flips. Typically when I do finger flips, or when I was learning finger flips on a street skateboard, I had to grab it really far onto the side here just to get the power to flip it around. When I tried doing that on this board, I almost did a double flip. I found that I had to grab it more from the nose just to get a regular single flip. And that's something else I want to talk about here. The nose and the tail's shapes. So the nose is a bit more pointy, which is good for things like if you're trying to like scoop the board, or if you're trying to do Caspers, the flat nose is excellent for that. The tail of the board is a lot more squared off. This is really, really good for doing things like truck stands or pogos, anything that you need to be on that tail. It's a nice flat surface. Now, some pros that I can find for wanting a single kick board would be doing things like rail flips. When you're in rail stand and you're trying to flip out of it, it takes a lot less effort when you're doing it just off of a flat nose rather than a tail. I think that has something to do with obviously the shape of the tail. When you're doing a flip this way, it just flips over a lot quicker and nicer rather than trying to fight against that tail. Now, if you're doing a rail flip off the tail, it can pop higher, but it does take more effort to get the board to flip all the way around. Where I think having a single kick is maybe a downfall for me personally is with my footwork. I'm finding that because the board is so flat and because I don't have any sort of concave to lock my foot into, especially on the nose, that I'm having to look down at my feet, shuffle them around a lot, and try and find my place on the board. Now, this is totally a me issue. It's not the board's issue. You can look up skaters like Eric Lowry, who skates the same board and has some of the fastest, quickest, best footwork I've ever seen. So clearly it's not a board issue, it's a user issue. I just think for me personally, coming from street skateboarding into freestyle skateboarding, this isn't the best board to learn footwork on, but it is an amazing board to learn flip tricks and stationary tricks on. I also find that for me, again, personally, just my own take, because this board is so thin, that my feet kind of don't have a lot of room. I feel like I want a bit more room on either side just for my feet to move around and do things on. I'm finding that because it's so small and compact, my feet are always super close and tight together, and I'm just tripping over myself when trying to do stuff. Now, something else to note about this board is because you have a single kick, Doing popped tricks does feel a little scary. You can ollie on this. I've done some pretty high ollies on this board, but I find that I put my front foot way farther back than I'm used to because your foot will shoot off that nose no problem. Now saying that, if you're trying to do something like an ollie north, then this board's kind of perfect for it. I've done some really nice feeling ollie norths on this board. You just put your foot up like a regular ollie and just do a really hard ollie and kick down a little bit and just make sure your foot comes back. And also, like I said before, because it is so small, you can do things like an ollie kickflip or a varial flip on this very easily. So if you are thinking about picking up this board, it's a great board. There's not much I can say negatively about it. I will say for me personally, trying to learn footwork on it is kind of tough. I do like having concave. I'm still new to freestyle myself, but I feel like I would like concave and I would like a board that's a bit wider. But if you're learning stationary tricks or if you're trying to get flip tricks down, this board's great. I can't really say too much negative things about it. This board's excellent for doing Caspers. I learned so many awesome Casper combos with this board because of that flat single kick nose. I've learned a few rail flips out of this board, which also helps because of that single kicked nose. And I've managed to do some flip tricks really easily on this, like an ollie kickflip or ollie norths, just because of the single kick nose and because of how steep that kick is. The squared off tail feels great for truck stands and gives you a lot of stability when doing things like pogos. So if you're looking for a freestyle skateboard and you want something that's easy to flip around and easy to learn stationary tricks on, and if you have a size foot that's smaller than mine, which is a 10, and you are comfortable skating skinnier boards, this could be the perfect setup for you. So I would highly recommend checking out Moonshine Skateboards. They're located out of the UK, and check out their other options online on their website. I know this board is a single kick, but they also have lots of double kicks, and I'm pretty sure they favor very flat boards, but there's probably some on there that do have concave if that's what you're looking for. Anyways, guys, I hope this video helped you. I hope this video gave you some information to take away if you're trying to purchase your first freestyle skateboard. I'll see you around.